Welcome into Sports Idiot Nation. Today is Monday, January 6th, and out of all the ways to go, we'll tell you the one way you don't want to die. Also, we'll tell you why maybe Miles and T.I.'s teams actually still does suck. Also, guys, I just checked Wembanyama's stats. I'm not so sure he is not an alien.
Sports, comedy, pop culture, and everything in between. By idiots, for idiots.
I love the show Home Improvement, but I'll tell you, I never want to be in the same home as this guy.
This is Sports Idiot Nation.
Sports, comedy, pop culture, and everything in between. By idiots, for idiots. Welcome, sinners. This is Sports Idiot Nation.
Yes, Sports Idiot Nation. It is I, Adam Marino, as always, joined by Miles behind enemy lines and a Mr. T.I. Man, talk about Titans idiot. We are excited to get into some of that. This is the weekly sports show that comes to you twice per week. Every Monday and Thursday, you can catch a new, fresh episode where we cover what's going on, some obscure stories, and of course, soon you will hear the idiot of the week, as is tradition. But first, I want to ask you, T.I., the joy of getting a number one pick, does it dwindle knowing that you guys suck with number one picks?
Well, we really haven't had a number one pick in a long time, but top five, top three,
Sure.
I might as well be a number one pick. But
This first round in general.
But I mean, with the beauty in it though is like a lot of Titans fans were calling for the team to tank, to get the number one spot, and
They did a good job of that.
We got the number one spot without even having to tank. We were just that good. We're just that good, and we won it without even deliberately trying to lose games. That's just how good we are. But yeah, I mean, it's Miles and I were discussing a little bit about this, but it's always a risk because nothing ever pans out just because one guy says this about another one and vice versa. There were analysts that were telling the Panthers like, do not take Cam Newton, you need to take Blaine Gabbert. Like, there's just nobody ever really knows, right? And those guys, and one of the I can't remember who it was. One of them was like, yeah, I mean, he just has the look. He's got the hair like Tom Brady. Like, he just the whole package. I was like, all right, so that's where we're at. We're judging players' talent and skill and ability to win games by their hair. But
backwards.
Yeah, but so yeah, it's a little dicey situation. Titans fans are happy. I'm a little skeptical. I kind of want them to trade back. I do want them to take Travis Hunter if they do take a pick there, if they do select. I'm not so sure that he's a home run still. As we've talked before, like he is a tremendous athlete, but he's not necessarily upper echelon in the top in either of the positions he's played, and he probably won't be a receiver in the NFL. So I would want them to trade back, maybe take Carter from Penn State, but hey, I'm not a GM. I applied for that position, did not get it. Applied for the head coaching position, did not get it.
You have the shirt for it.
But, if you guys read Miles' article, there's some rumors swirling around the 615 that I may be purchasing a certain team that, likes to play down on Broadway, might have to
football.
Might have to move
Fantasy
them.
baseball.
Might have to move them to the west side a little bit, but,
I manage a baseball team. Fantasy.
But yeah, so we'll see. But hey, right now we are the number one overall ranked team in the country. So, not much I can say about that.
I don't think that word means what you think it means.
Isn't it like it's kind of like college football, right? Like right now, like we're the number one team for next year, right? Isn't that how it works?
Yeah, that's fair. So let's get into college football, Miles. Take it away. What was your take on all the games this past weekend or over the week?
The SEC still sucks, which is everything that I need and more. IU football again, totally vindicated now.
They're a basketball conference. We know that.
Yeah, move on. And then the year after, you'll be a baseball conference. The year after that, you'll be swimming and diving. And then it'll be esports. And then getting down your podcasting conference. Like it'll just change one year after another.
We're a beer drinking conference now.
Texas was exposed for the 6th time this year. Arizona State, great story. That was a fantastic game to watch. Scatterbrew, that is a man. 2nd round. I don't care what our needs are at that point. I want to draft him in the 2nd round. As a Titans fan, of course. It's awesome. To me pretty straightforward that Ohio State, they just had that letdown against Michigan. There are conspiracy theories. Barstool Sports put out an article that Ohio State lost that Michigan game on purpose, which is just completely and utterly asinine because their path to where they are now was not easy. Tennessee, sure, they blew them out at home, but Tennessee wasn't seen as a pushover. And then you have to play Oregon on the West Coast. Come on. No, they were not tanking that, but they just got their shit together, and they're showing that they do truly have the best roster in the country. Are they the best team? Probably, but they are the most talented unequivocally. Penn State, they're a good football team. That's pretty much it. If Penn State wins the national title, I will be in shock, but that would be a major tip of the cap to James Franklin and what he's done. And then lastly, Marcus Freeman is the man. That dude can flat out coach. He outcoached Sig in the 1st round, and then he completely embarrassed Kirby. And that dude is a mastermind. And I didn't really comprehend that until watching him coach. I didn't watch that much football for Notre Dame this past season. I saw a few games of theirs, including Northern Illinois, and I was like, this dude's done. This dude is fried. Sick fork of him. Take him out back. He's never going to coach big-time college football again. Myself, every Notre Dame football fan out there, dead flat wrong. That dude is showing he is a top 5. He might be the top 1 head football coach in college football right now. I absolutely believe Notre Dame can win the national title because of how good of a coach he is. Their offense ain't it, but they should beat Penn State. Notre Dame, Ohio State national title game? Probably.
Wow.
Yeah, that dude, after that loss to Northern Illinois, bro came back like every week was like, they came back like Kobe after the assault charge. He was like, every week counts. One
additional thing. If I'm right, if the national title game is Ohio State Notre Dame, we need to have Northern Illinois Michigan as the undercard game before that. That's the team that beat Ohio State before the playoff started, and then of course Northern Illinois doing to Notre Dame what they did in South Bend.
As is tradition. I like that. We should make that a reality.
A new tradition.
Yeah. We need the NIT for college football, and we also need that. I like it. Just turn it to a whole Netflix event,
So let's stay on the football side of things, and I want to shift gears to some NFL stuff. Let's get some of the bad teams out of the way. Is Aaron Rodgers done? Over 500 touchdowns, went out kind of in style. I don't know, 4 touchdowns. Is he done?
He acts like he's not. I mean, but we've been there before. He's got a little bit of Favre in him. He can't make up his mind. He goes off into some retreat and locks himself in a dark cave and ingest some things that I can't even pronounce, and probably would get us kicked off YouTube if I did mention him anyway. But I can't even spell the stuff that he puts in his body. But I haven't watched The Enigma on Netflix yet. I want to watch that. I don't know if you guys have watched it. Maybe we should all watch it and then do an episode about it or something. I don't know, because he is a pretty polarizing dude. I always liked him though. I've said before, he's always been one of my favorite quarterbacks to watch. To me, one of the purest pastors to ever play the game. He's not very well liked, but he never advertised that he wanted to be well liked, So is he done? It's hard for me to say. He could be, but he hints at in the right situation, like he wants to come back. And if the Jets were to hire Mike Vrabel, and he's stuck around there, Mike Vrabel could convince him to stick around. There were rumors of Rodgers coming to Nashville. There's still rumors of Rodgers coming to Nashville. Those rumors never go away,
Right.
I mean, I saw him at the Dollar Tree buying cat litter, so I don't know. Maybe the rumors are true, but what do you think, Miles? You think Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood is done?
They say space is the final frontier, but really the human brain is the final frontier. And I want to get that on the poster, and underneath it, just have Aaron Rodgers, because no one can truly understand his brain and how it works. I think he does ultimately come back next year, plays on a different team. Who that might be, hell, I don't know. It might be the Raiders, something just random. And that team will win 4 or 5 games next season, but they just want the splash of Aaron Rodgers, knowing full well they're not going to make the playoffs next year. They're probably not going to land a top-tier quarterback, whether it be in free agency and not the draft, because I don't trust the quarterbacks in this upcoming draft, and we'll get more on that later. But I think it's going to be a city like that is a big-name city, shitty football team, no expectations, realistic ones at least, and he'll just pull up there for a season, and then it's over.
Yeah, Devontae Adams is like, hey, I'm finally out here in New York with you, man. Nice to reunite. Rodgers goes back to Oakland. I mean, Vegas for me, They're always going to be Oakland to me,
Yeah. Reminder, follow us on wherever you get your social media for all the funny memes, all the funny updates that we give, wherever you get your social media, Sports Idiot Nation. Okay, so speaking of bad teams, I'm not quite sure what are the Patriots doing. All they had to do was lose and not lose their coach. I don't know. T.I., what? I mean, I guess that helps you get the number 1 pick. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, they had one job. Their job was to lose the game, and they won the game, and their head coach was fired immediately, like an hour after the game. So, those could not be directly related, but as in the past, we have seen that they are directly related. So, but
I know Lovie Smith was their head coach.
Yeah, but it's interesting that a former Tennessee boy and another former Tennessee boy both helped the Tennessee football team secure the number 1 overall pick. So, a couple volunteers there volunteering their services for the Tennessee Titans. We appreciate that down in Nashville more than they know. But
and
yeah,
the Bengals helped you out as well. Week 1 at home.
Well,
those same Patriots lost.
We'll have to give Kelsey a shout out to that. We appreciate your service there, Bengals. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, there are rumors in the offseason that the whole Mayo thing was a promise by Kraft back when he was still on the team. It was like, hey, I want you to be the successor to Bill. So there were rumors that he was going to get canned. I mean, so who knows what the real reason is? Is it just the draft pick? Is it the fact they weren't good? Or was it all part of a ruse just to wait till Mike Vrabel was available? Who knows? Bob Kraft loves him some Mike Vrabel, so we'll see. But yeah, Patriots had one job and they blew it. Thanks. We appreciate that.
Thank you for your service.
As far as Titans fans are concerned, Joe Milton is the greatest Patriots quarterback of all time.
Joe Milton, Tim Brady.
So we're talking stupidity. I want to ask your take on the brain of Sean McVay. All he had to do was not sit his entire football team, and you don't have to play. At that point, we didn't know either the Lions or the Vikings. We know how that panned out now, but he didn't know that. And the point is, both teams going in to last night's game were 14-2, and unless he sees something that we didn't see, that he's okay with playing either team, like all they had to do was win so that they're the 3 seed, but instead they drop, which, by the way, we will get into on Thursday's episode. So for all things NFL playoffs, be sure to keep it locked in. Be sure to hit the notification bell if the favorite way for you to watch is on YouTube, which is tradition. Be sure to follow, because we will get into that more. But is this big deal, little deal, no deal, Miles?
I think it's a massive deal. The difference between playing Minnesota and Washington, my pick to click versus your pick to click, yeah, it's a massive gap. And not only that, Minnesota's a dome team. On top of that, playing in LA, and it's going to be the second time they play each other. Remember, one of 3 of Minnesota's losses was to the Rams. So that's going to be a bit of vengeance coming to them. Not that they even need that. It's a freaking playoff game, for crying out loud. But Minnesota's a better team than Washington is, and I don't think Minnesota's going to have another dud next week. I mean, the Lions are the best team in the NFL. They showed it last night. I think that was a terrible, terrible mistake for the Rams to go ahead and lose that game when instead
so weird.
And now, even if the Rams are lucky enough to win that, if the first round in the NFC playoffs, which again we'll get into Thursday, but if it's chalk, great. Now you get to go to Detroit in the second round instead of Philadelphia. It might work out different ways, but I think they lose anyways to Minnesota. So that's going to backfire, losing that game yesterday.
Definitely weird. Like I said, we will get into all things NFL playoffs this Thursday, so keep it locked. Also, I found myself flipping between the Lions show and the Golden Globes, and I thought Nikki Glaser killed. And it got me thinking, of all the ways to go out, we had an interesting one, and that is Kirby Smart's father. Like, ugh. T.I., that is not the way you'd want your dad to go out.
Well, I mean, there's not a whole lot of probably positive ways that you want your father or mother to exit out the earth. But yeah, one of them was not watching, falling down the stairs. Or no, he didn't. No, he wasn't at the thing. He fell in New Orleans, like somewhere on the street, right? Is what I'm reading, right? Hit his head and he had botched surgery with his hip. Yeah, like that happened to my grandmother. My grandmother she's in pretty good shape outside of the fact that she smoked like 3 packs of Lucky Strikes unfiltered a day. But other than that, she was a trooper, and she slipped in the mud walking her dog, broke her hip, and sure enough, had botched surgery, just complications, and bam, she's gone, And so same situation, really. But I think the most tragic part of all this is that I'm sure Kirby's dad was very proud of him, everything he's accomplished. I mean, the national championships, all his, dominance over the SEC. But the last thing that he remembers going out is that his son, lost embarrassingly to Notre Dame. And he's going to have to take that with him to his grave, and know that the last thing his father witnessed was him losing to Notre Dame. So, I'm sure that's going to haunt Kirby for the rest of his life. And, before we get a lot of hate mail about being insensitive, like, remember, we are idiots here, but I would definitely want my father to see me going out, winning or at least losing to somebody other than Notre Dame, so.
Anytime you hang out with me, it is a win. So I think your dad's just fine. Yeah. We're excited for the rest of college football. I think there's lots of holes in the way that seedings are done, but not one person can come up with the exact science. We did document on this show that you could just pull them out. Just get truly the top 12 teams. Don't worry about, this team won the ACC, so they're automatically, but if they have 3 losses, then they're not a top 4 seed, whatever. You're still going to get the best team because every team will have to go through a gauntlet. Even Penn State, they had the easiest road, but they still will have to be definitely battle tested if they win. And Miles will eat his shorts. He'll do it live on a show if Penn State wins, but
national title, yeah.
Yeah, if they win the national title, Miles will eat his shorts.
If Penn State wins, Miles has to go hang out with Jerry Sandusky.
I'll tear it up live. Well, he'd tear me up live, but
you have to wrestle Jerry Sandusky.
Naked.
Although he doesn't wrestle in the wrestling ring. He likes to wrestle in the shower.
I'll tell you,
so
though,
just make sure
we played at
don't drop the soap.
That was my senior year at IU, and we played at Penn State that season after all that came out. And when we got there to the locker rooms, there was a bunch of guys on staff that ran into the showers and started simulating all that. That was image that will forever be ingrained in my mind.
Yes, I would imagine
a little
so.
Wild.
I'd imagine so.
All right. So again, be sure to follow Sports Idiot Nation wherever you get your social media, the Facebooks, the Instagrams, all of those. And new shows come out every Monday and Thursday. I want to shift gears to basketball because there's been alien life force, I think, among us through 99 games of playing the game of basketball. This is insane. I have the stats here. 22,038 points, 1,035 rebounds, 382 assists, 364 blocks, and this is earth-shattering to me. 221 three-pointers made. All of these numbers are better than Steph Curry, Hakeem Olajuwon, LeBron James, like through the first 99 games.
I didn't know Hakeem Olajuwon shot so many threes.
Right. It's remarkable. So Victor Wembanyama.
Yeah, what an alien dude. He is is this the new I mean I think we've said before, like he's definitely him and Ant-Man, or and Ja, if he can get his stuff together, stop getting injured. But these guys are somebody's ready to become the face of the league, right? Is Wemby the next main face of the league, or is he already that guy? He's just on a mediocre team, like
mid.
I mean, is this the new form of player? Are we going to start seeing more players like him? Because I mean, the game's going to have to evolve if players are going to compete with him. Because can you imagine imagine like a team with like two of those guys or three of them? I mean, it's just like
Monstars.
I know he's a freak of nature, but as we've seen, I mean, these players are getting stronger, bigger, faster. I mean, LeBron James is a freak of nature, and LeBron James is still LeBron James, but there's thousands of players across the world that are as big and built as LeBron James that are, out there dunking hard and everything else. It's the first time we've really seen somebody like that back in high school when he was coming out. But now it's like you just see these crazy dunks all the time and these insane blocks, and you see stat lines where it's like, dudes putting up 50 and 60 points. Like the game has just evolved so much. So like, is Wemby the new like creative player for the NBA? Like, it's just a scary thought seeing a dude like that draining threes, blocking like 10 shots a game, just dunking on your head, and just complete mismatch wherever he goes. Yeah, he's fun to watch. I mean, I can't stand the Spurs. I've always hated them because they're a rival with the Grizz, but I always have liked Popovich. So he's in a good situation, but I'd like to see him on a better team because it would be more fun to watch.
Like the Memphis Grizzlies.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know though. It might change
Zach
the whole
Edey.
dynamic there. Zach Edey. Hey, Zach Edey's having a good season, man. If him and Draymond Green would stop getting into it. Draymond Green got another technical. I think he's doing it on purpose. I think he's battle testing him. I think Ja,
School of Draymond.
Ja and Draymond like each other and get along. I wonder if Ja's like telling him like, "Hey, toughen him up."
Yeah.
But
And one more stat I want to throw in there. Last season, Wemby as a rookie was 20-10. That's the first rookie in the NBA to do that since Larry Bird. Honestly, I don't know how we can call him an alien, though, because truly this is his world and we're just living in it. My favorite highlight from last season, all of last season, not just for Wemby, but the NBA last year, was when Giannis went down, Wemby stuffed him, went back to the other side of the court and threw it down in his face. And at that moment, it's like, this dude is for real. And now he might go 25-12 this season. That's ridiculous. And the dude can't even legally drink yet.
Yeah, he's insane.
Yeah. The NBA still has a lot of stuff to figure out. And by that, I mean, JJ Redick and Charles Barkley need to just have dinner and have it posted live on Netflix and just have them hash it out. Like, I love that.
He get more views than Christmas Day.
Yeah. So if you haven't seen the beef, basically Charles Barkley is saying that the NBA is unwatchable. And then basically JJ Redick says, we can't have our ambassadors like Charles Barkley saying that it's unwatchable. Like, that's not good for the game. It doesn't serve a purpose. I don't find it funny. He was very, didn't pull any punches. And then Charles Barkley fired back basically and said, this guy's a dead man walking. Who is he? The Lakers stink. He stinks. Like, what are we talking about? I'm just calling the dead horse a dead horse. I'm not. It's obvious. I'm not the one jacking up all those threes. This is Charles Barkley saying it. So then it gets back. So now we're playing tennis. So now it goes back to JJ Redick. And then he says, an average heart rate for me is 64. And as I was seeing this, what Charles Barkley's comments were, I was at a 64. Basically saying, I don't care. It's like,
weird way.
Okay, it's awkward.
Yeah, well, I mean, like they say, if you don't want to hear what Charles Barkley's opinion, don't ask him because he's going to tell you. You know, I mean,
right?
Dude,
for 25 years, like
we're talking about a dude who threw a little person through a plate glass window. You know, little person. It reminds me of that Sarah Silverman joke where she's talking about like political correctness. You know, she's like, you know, it's like political correctness. It's like, yeah, there's a time and a place for it. But I mean, come on. It's like a little person doesn't want to be called a little person. They want to be called a midget. It's like, come on, just call me a midget. Don't call me a little person. It's demeaning. Like, hey there, little person, you know. But anyway, yeah, Charles Barkley threw a midget through a plate glass window at a bar one time. You know, like that's the guy you're dealing with. Like he doesn't care. Back when, I don't know if you guys remember back in, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago, maybe 8 years ago, when those Alabama football players robbed the students on campus and took their like dining hall passes and stuff. I mean, the equivalent of like $18 worth of stuff or something.
Yeah.
Charles Barkley came back from one of the breaks, from a commercial break, and he had his head all bandaged up and he had like fake blood on it. And he was like, oh, y'all have to forgive me. I just came back from Alabama campus. I mean, that's who we're talking about. Like this dude is just all about clicks, you know, and that's what the NBA is trying to do. They're trying to generate clicks, trying to generate talks. Like we were talking last week about MB rushing the ref. I mean, if viewership's down, then how do you get people watching? You start making these scandals and these back and forth and these allegations and this person said that, you know, and, you know, it's all theatrical. I mean, it's a game at the end of the day. It's, you know, the NBA is, you know, it may be a dying brand. It may need to rebrand, but however it is, it's still my second love when it comes to sports. So it's like, oh, I'll always watch it and always enjoy it. But right now it's like they're trying to find stories and make stories up. That's what the JJ Redick, Charles Barkley thing is.
And we're definitely dealing with a bunch of idiots.
Mayday! Mayday! Cover your brains, boys and girls. Put on your tinfoil hats because this is Idiot of the Week.
All right, you idiots and sinners, for the first Idiot of the Week for 2025, we're going to step away from the sports world. That's right, Brad Taylor from Home Improvement, also known in the real world as Zachary Ty Bryan, got arrested yet again. This time for a little domestic assault. Second time for that charge in the last 18 months. This time in the state of South Carolina, coming just 2.5 months after an arrest for his not first, not second, not third, not fourth, but fifth DUI back in October in the state of Oklahoma. His fourth one came just 3 months before that in California. So this man knows how to get around. This man knows how to make terrible life decisions. This man knows how to get into the clank. And I think before it's all said and done, the dude's going to get arrested in all 50 states.
Ooh,
he's going for them all.
I like that. That's a record that even LeBron James can't break.
He bullied his brothers on the show. Now he just bullies women, I guess.
Remember they say it was Tim Allen would say,
Let me ask you something, Wilson.
Well done.
Well, Tim, I think you should.
Your oldest son needs some more TLC. He needs to see a better example of how to actually treat a woman. So
he needs home improvement.
Zachary, right. Ty, Brian, you are the idiot of the week.
All right, so reminder, follow Sports Idiot Nation wherever you get your social media. Remember, new shows are out every Monday and Thursday. Speaking of this Thursday, you know, we have officially now, as of last night, which, by the way, I did just get an update. The Vikings are still kicking field goals. They have 18 field goals and they still lost. So I don't know
Wait, I just got an update too. Jamar Gibbs just got a 5th and 6th touchdown.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it was 89.
18 field goals. Gotcha.
It was 89-30 was the final. It looks like just 10 field goals made by Minnesota. Nice job, boys. Not your best, but so all things NFL, we're going to figure out the road to the playoffs, how everyone got where they are now, who's going to win, who's going to lose, all of that. So be sure to hit the notification bell so that you can be notified when we drop new content. So we will see you Thursday. Okay, all you sinners, follow Sports Idiot Nation on TikTok, X, and Instagram. Like us on Facebook, and remember, the most fun way to watch us is on YouTube every Monday and Thursday. Be sure to hit the notification bell so you can be updated when new content drops. Remember, the podcast can also be found on the usual suspects of Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Always remember, don't be an idiot.
Sinner.